A vaccine is a biological preparation that provides active acquired immunity to a particular infectious or malignant disease. Vaccines contain a microorganism or virus in a weakened, live, or killed state, or proteins or toxins from the organism. In stimulating the body's adaptive immunity, they help prevent sickness from an infectious disease. Vaccines reduce risk of getting a disease by working with your body's natural defenses to build protection. When you get a vaccine, your immune system responds. We now have vaccines to prevent more than 20 life-threatening diseases, helping people of all ages live longer, healthier lives. The safety and effectiveness of vaccine has been widely studied and verified. Today on your favorite Health TV talk show, we'll be discussing vaccinations, a proactive health imperative. Do stay tuned. It's another day on your favorite Health TV talk show, The Physicians, where your health is our business. Today on the show, we'll be talking about vaccinations, a proactive health imperative. My name is Dr. Memuna Yusuf Kadri, and of course, you know that on this show, I'm not the only anchor. I have a lovely co-host, and she's no other person than...
My name is Dr. Martina Agberian. Welcome to The Physicians, where your health is our business.
We are discussing vaccines. This one you are shining pinky. This is Baby Dr. Martina.
Yes, we know that pink represents the female lady, right?
Yeah.
So it shows
it's the feminine energy you have.
Feminine energy number one, and it starts from when you're in unit.
Even more.
So when they give, we're talking about vaccines today. It starts from the beginning, from birth. From neonate, okay? So you just follow. So that is actually why the pink is here. That yes, from neonate actually started. Are you immunized?
Is it immunized or vaccinated?
Are you immunized? You know, remember there was a time on the program I said you can't be vaccinated but not immunized,
and that was a very strong point. Like literally, you have to go back and go and check. You know,
really?
Our BCG,
yes, go check it.
Yeah. That mark. And for me, I think that for vaccinations are we know they are lifesavers.
Yeah.
Though there are controversies over some vaccinations with regards to the COVID-19 that we're just coming out of.
Yes.
So,
but you can't actually quantify the benefits of that vaccine. It did help.
Just look at from
childbirth, from
BCG, then the
DPT, yellow fever, measles.
So many.
Polio, imagine the things that would have happened.
And now we are lucky that polio has gone. You know, there's full eradication of polio.
From Nigeria.
And that's, for me, that was usually my reference when people were talking about the COVID-19 vaccine. I'm like, we've been taking vaccines. It's like people maybe forgot.
It's because of the situation at that time. You understand?
Maybe they just
felt this particular ill health, this disease that is killing everybody, taking vaccine, we just die. And so there was the theories around it.
Don't go with those conspiracy theories. By now,
that was actually affecting my mental health. Actually, was affecting my mental health. Each time I read those conspiracy stories, were like, "Are you for real?"
That is signal 5G and all those other. Anyway, we are having an expert in the studio who is going to deep dive up and talk to us about vaccination. So, please, this is the right time for you to go call your neighbors, call them to tune in. You know, it's the right time. It's evening, it's fresh, you are relaxing, and the physician is aired 7:30 p.m. West African time on DSTV channel 369. This is the right time now to call everybody because it's a topic that is very close to everybody's heart. We'll be right back after this time at Do stay tuned.
Every day and in every way, enjoy that I find support. No matter the role you play, nutrient pack supplement for you and me. In your body, that I fight you.
Darvite nutritional supplement is loaded with essential multivitamins, minerals, and natural ingredients that helps you to be at your best. Darvite from LB Pharma. Darvite, love yourself.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it is your favorite TV talk show, The Physicians, where your health is our business. Today on the show, we're talking everything about vaccination. And with us in the studio is no other person than the amazing Dr. DUMEBI OKAFOR. He is the MD CEO of eMEDICAL Comprehensive Consult, and he's a family health physician. Dr. DUMEBI, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, I see you're taking your coffee.
Good, yeah.
Cooling it off.
Yes, so. Thank you so much.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Yeah. Great.
It's good to be back again.
Yeah.
Always
Nice
a wonderful
having you.
time.
Nice having you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
What are vaccines? As you have just dropped the coffee, let us start the conversation.
Yeah, let's start. It's a conversation always worth having. We've had a talk here on preventive healthcare delivery, and vaccination, immunization is a cardinal part of that tenet. Vaccines are medicaments that are produced from different sources. You mentioned a few of them, which is designed to, upon injection or ingestion, designed to help your immune system begin to develop the soldiers for which you can fight infection, future infections post-vaccination, at the point when you have actually acquired proper immunization. So vaccines are extremely important aspects of our modern healthcare system, modern healthcare facility that allows us to prevent a host of diseases across the world, some of which have actually become eliminated. The classical case being smallpox, from the diary of daily diseases because, of course, of vaccines. Extremely important.
Okay. So you've talked about the definition of vaccine, what it means, what vaccine really means. Okay. So now for the purpose of people that really do not understand, sure, I would love to hear you throw more light on how vaccines work.
100%.
In protecting,
yes,
the individual.
Yes. So there are like up to 5 forms of vaccinations, of vaccine production, vaccines. So you have somebody mentioned, I think it's the good Dr. Memuna. We have when you have inactivated viruses, and then you have the ones that are killed viruses. Then you have our recent mRNA vaccines. You also have the ones that are from toxoids, the venom of like snakes and all that. They make vaccines from that. And then you have a special subsector or sub-genre called virus vector vaccines, made from the vectors of the virus. So there are all kinds, but the principle is the same. So you make a vaccine, develop a vaccine, which is prepared to be something the body can recognize as the enemy. So when this comes into the system, the natural response, now it has to be understood that even for a host of infections, which you naturally acquire, you can get vaccinated from that as well to a large extent. So you acquire an infection, your body develops a response to it. The danger of that is that it may kill you before your response can form. Vaccines are the surest way of ensuring that you don't die, but you still get the benefits. So the moment your body sees this virus, in whole or in part, it responds. There's an inbuilt design. Your body is able to produce soldiers that will now be in the barracks, waiting for the alarm call that there's danger, for them to come out and do what they do. The beauty of this is that these soldiers are specific. It's like having mobile police or having different forms of the police dedicated to one particular agency. And so when they come out and there's that particular threat, the group that will respond to that are very specific. So you want your body to develop as many of these defense calls as possible, because in that way, the myriad of threats around you can be coped with. Vaccines allow us to develop this ability, defense ability, lying in wait, so that whenever we come across this disease or these disease agents and agencies, we are able to defeat and defend ourselves from them.
This is quite interesting.
Very interesting. So maybe
Yeah.
that was the reason for that COVID vaccine, why it was actually imperative for people to have it.
Yeah.
So that you don't wait to contract the COVID virus before having your immunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, why vaccination, and who are the people that need it?
Yeah. So again, it's one of those universal questions we ask with universal answers. Everybody needs vaccines, and the reason is what we have said here. You have a native state. You're born with a native state where you are all about potential. You can defend yourself, but you don't have that defense in place. It's just a potential you have. So unless you go on and actively take vaccination and become immunized, you are really just a sitting duck, just waiting to be knocked over. So we know that in the history of mankind, a lot of deaths, especially in children in childhood
yes.
diseases,
Especially
a lot of
under
people
5.
succumbed to diseases because of this problem. So, and that's why, of course, the target is from birth. Everybody needs vaccines. There are vaccination schedules for elderly people even. But of course, the most vulnerable target are newborns, because they are coming, with no defense. The milk from the mother provides a few protection for GI borne, just for those who are breastfed.
Exactly.
One of the benefits of breastfeeding, of course, provides some protection for that population. But we know that with development and the hustle and bustle of everyday life come the fact that most kids just get bottle fed. So they are there without any protection. And therefore, unless, if not for our policies on vaccination, we would have had a lot more childhood morbidity and mortality than we have today. Of course, again, like in everything else, there's a big gap we still need to fill.
Okay, so Dr. Inu said the truth is that the benefits, you already talked about the benefits of using vaccines, right? And for children, we know that from birth, they give the BCG, okay? And from what you said, because of environment, of course, it's a thing of joy when a baby comes. So a lot of people come,
Yeah.
and the chances that the baby probably will get infected from the environment is high. So that is why they give the BCG, because of TB, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For at that age, that very tender age that they give that immunization, apart from the breastfeeding, what are the side effects of vaccines, of giving vaccines to people from birth?
Yeah, or to children.
To children.
Yeah, well, happily, very, very minor. I mean, when you talk about acute adverse effects, of course, there's this extremely controversial issue of side effects, like autism being due to vaccine. Studies are not very clear on that. Some studies have been supportive and others are not. So that's still very controversial. But, apart from minor rash and all that, there is hardly anything worthy of mention that stands as an obstruction to, the reasonable implementation of a nationwide immunization implementation policy. The fact of the matter is that you have antibiotics, you have a rash, you have anti-malaria, you have itching. How often has that prevented us from taking antibiotics? Because of course the benefit far outweighs any such adversity. So while it is tempting and it's a problem really, especially because of this autism issue, a lot of people have a sense that vaccine can be dangerous. And while it's important to assuage that fear, it is also equally at the same time important to let them know of the vast benefits of what they are doing today. The benefits of this far outweigh any risk, and the risks are very minor. The fact that you can go out there and have an accident doesn't stop any of us from using motor cars, because of course the benefit is far, far greater. So the same thing with vaccination. There should be no reason at all why we do not accept this policy. One of the most important aspects of vaccination is what they call the herd effect. The herd effect. So the herd effect is where if just by making one person immune, you are preventing more people in the community from getting the same problem. So it's not only protective of you, it's actually a public service action, because by you not being able to carry it, you are preventing yourself from giving it to others, especially the more vulnerable, the people who are sick, the elderly, the children. So if adults were more vaccinated, they are less likely to go to that baby naming ceremony and make the baby sick. So that is extremely important as well. It's almost a moral duty.
That is very important as it is, because it's having that herd immunity is not only protecting yourself, it's also protecting others. Nigeria policies with regards to vaccination and the mess, I want you to shed light on that.
Thank you very much. Nigeria is a signatory to the WHO directives on healthcare in Africa, a very strong signatory. And we have a lot of policy awareness on the ground in Nigeria. Now, the implementation has a lot of challenges like everything else. And that is where the problem lies. There's a robust effort actually, and where vaccination is concerned, I must say that's very praiseworthy. But of course, when you deal with an infrastructure challenged environment like ours, there's only so much you can do. The essence of vaccination is maintaining a cold chain. In fact, the Bill Gates funded agency that's responsible, I think GEVAS, that's responsible for malaria vaccine production. We actually have malaria vaccine. But they cannot include us, important as we are, in that space, in the public health space.
Any reason for that?
Yeah, because we don't meet their standards for cold chain maintenance.
Oh, wow.
So that's the reason, right?
They are extremely expensive vaccines, as you can imagine. And to send it to a place where they will get destroyed and rendered ineffective.
Oh, our lack of electricity, lack of infrastructure.
There's no security,
there's no lack of proper public sector oversight. So these are things that are important to ensuring that vaccines reach where they should reach. But of course, we are extremely, extremely short in those regards.
But I know that in terms of cold chain, we actually have tried.
That's what I said.
Yes, we actually have tried in terms of cold chain. And I know that at that we still have the big center where these are actually preserved. So I'm sure if the government are able to have a proper discussion, because we need this. We're in an endemic environment.
I remember we said it's a universal imperative. It means that there should be no child left behind.
No
I don't care how much of the periphery, remote areas they lie in. So the ideal paradigm is that these outlying areas are all involved in the vaccination process. And of course, that's the only way we all can be protected. So until we can achieve that, we are still very short of our immunization goals.
So we've had these 4 years post-COVID. And of course, we know about a lot of the conspiracy theories that came with it. We should have vaccine, we shouldn't have vaccine, and everything that came. And then it's around that period with the malaria vaccine thing also came on board, and it was more embraced than the COVID vaccine. 2 things I want to ask you. Was that wise with that coming with a vaccine? Because I'm sure if I ask them, the 3 of us had that vaccine. Some people today, they are very happy they did not take the vaccine, and all the conspiracy theories, they believe that some people still believe something is still going to happen to those of us that took the vaccine, right? Was that a wise thing to start up, that they will have to take vaccine? And the second part of the question is that, what disease futuristically are you looking that we should have a vaccine for?
Excellent question. First, I have to say that if you will indulge me, we've come here to talk about COVID. the pandemic vis-a-vis the vaccination. Very interesting topic, and very diverse. Now, to answer your question, Sarah, the first thing is that I think it was Dr. Martina that mentioned this earlier. COVID was a rogue train. It was a pandemic, the likes of which occurred maybe every 100 years. In 1918-20, when the Spanish flu came, as few as that population was, the death toll was 50 million.
It was massive.
Average.
And we didn't have this kind of 8 billion people.
Some estimate 100 million. So, and that was because we didn't have the modern techniques for
salvage the situation.
So, COVID was a rogue train that we quickly saw the end of, in spite of 7 million deaths, because of the vaccine. Now, as to the issues that it raised, I'm sorry to say that they were all correct. Not the conspiracy theories, obviously, the loopy-headed ones. But the fact was that this was, when I mentioned the kind of vaccine, it was the third one I mentioned.
The mRNA?
The mRNA vaccine has never occurred before.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. True.
And it has never occurred before, not because we didn't know about how to make one, but because it was so dangerous that you cannot make them without problems.
Yeah.
So they say desperate situations call for desperate measures. And so when it came to the point where the world was dying, the scientists went into their archives and brought out this technology, which creates a sort of vaccine that was completely novel. It does things to your body that traditional vaccines don't do. It's an aggressive effort at disease control. So, and that was and that's a situation where when a vaccine becomes almost like a therapeutic agent, because you actually use it to fight the fire. The fire is actually started. Now, but because of its nature, where it goes into the cell to do its thing and causes the body to almost attack the cell tissue themselves instead of doing its thing in the bloodstream, the COVID vaccine would cause potentially both its immediate problems, in cases of immediate intravascular coagulation and intravascular inflammation that led to deaths. Again, by nature of its design, like I said, we'll talk about this. I like going to the nature of the COVID vaccine for understanding. But also, there is a higher risk of autoimmune disorders in recipients in the future. But then again, like every war, they are always collateral. They're always, the casualties of war. And there is no doubt at all that the COVID vaccine was a good thing for the world. We are back to business today because of that vaccine. We recovered as quickly as we did because of that vaccine. And today, the schedule of vaccination is still the only, taking updated vaccines as they roll out, is still the only provision we have for reducing the severity and the deadliness of COVID. As a discount in Germany, funny enough, just in Germany, this year, 64 deaths from COVID. Yeah. So we are not out of the woods with COVID. The good thing is that over time, the iterations of the virus get less and less pathogenic, but they're still out there. And like the flu vaccine, which is a big killer all over the world, 500 deaths every year, and they still take that, especially in the temperate climates. We need to actually update our COVID vaccines, vaccination on a regular basis to keep up with, to keep our immunization up to par.
To our viewers out there, thank you so much for always keeping a date with the physicians. We talked all about vaccination. We even talked about, some part of 4 years post-COVID vaccine, lessons learned. We now understand that preparation is always better than cure, preventive measures. And those measures that we are taking now, will help us. You all heard about herd immunity for those that didn't take vaccine. And those of us that took, it actually helped other people, because with one person taking, it prevents other people within the community. Until next time on your favorite Health TV talk show, The Physicians, my name is Dr. Memuna Yusuf Kadri.
Thank you, Dr. OKAFOR, for coming on our program. Really appreciate you, and of course, we're going to call you back to talk on that. I want to take you on this We did promise the pandemic vis-a-vis the COVID vaccines. Yeah. We'll call you so you can also tutor us on that one. And to our viewers, I just want to say thank you again for keeping the date with us. The only word I will say is to the mothers, young mothers, nursing mothers. Vaccination is very, very important. The very first that you will give to your child is that first breast milk that comes out. It is called the colostrum. You have a lot of things that will protect your baby. Okay, so don't discard that. Don't say it is the devil's milk. Please ensure you give your babies that very first milk that comes out. So for those that want to be part of this program, you can actually go to our website. Just send an email to us so that you can be here like Dr. OKAFOR. Follow us on our social media platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, and of course, on X, formerly Twitter. My name remains Dr. Martina Agbere. Stay blessed.
Every day and in every way, enjoy that I fight support. No matter the role you play, nutrient pack supplement for you and me. In your body, that I fight you.
Darvite nutritional supplement is loaded with essential multivitamins, minerals, and natural ingredients that helps you to be at your best. Darvite from LB Pharma. Darvite, love yourself.